we continue to build. So last week, we talked about life insurance, the two different types of life insurance. And during these current times, the climate with COVID-19 and tornadoes, hurricanes, all kinds of natural disaster, they do happen. We have no control of them. So we always have to make sure that we have our plan in place. And wouldn't you agree, especially on a holiday weekend, that's when most car accident happens, disaster happens. So more people are thinking about, am I insured? Do I need to get life insurance? Do I need to put my finances in order? Do I need to make sure my family is protected? Do I have the right type of coverage? Do I need more coverage? It's a natural thing that happens because psychologically people are thinking about, what if? What if I don't make it through? Is my family going to be okay? So my job here is to make sure that you get the information, the proper guidance in order to put that plan for your family's future in place. So as you do agree with me, right, that disasters does happen and we have no control of them, and the current climate that we're in, we have to get the information and get the proper education in order to make the right decisions. Because based on statistics, numbers are never wrong. The statistics, most of the top surveys have shown that nearly 43% of Americans have no life insurance coverage at all, none. Roughly 50 million households in the US are underinsured, with the average life insurance coverage gap at about $200,000. That's huge. $200,000, that's a huge gap. Because why are people underinsured? There's a reason for that. Lack of information, not looking at the numbers, not calculating the need. How much you really need is different from how much you want. When you calculate the need, because in my opinion, and based on what I believe in, life insurance should be called income protection. Because income protection protects your income in the event there is some premature death. So when you have income protection, you need to know how much are you bringing into the household per year, and is your coverage enough to cover those expenses? That is so important, and I continue to educate families on the importance of that, because I know at the end of the day, their family matters. Because people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. And without having the proper guidance, the right information, sometimes we miss it. I know I have. I missed it because I just did not know. So I'm here to make sure that you understand what's required in order to protect you and your loved ones. Question for you. What if you had a toaster in your kitchen? Now listen, I hope you're taking notes too. And on the 1st and 15th of each month, $2,000 popped out of that toaster. Would you love that toaster? I know I would. Would you insure that toaster? Of course. Why not? Right? Unfortunately, there's no such toaster. But you are the money machine in your family. So if it makes sense to insure an imaginary toaster, wouldn't it make sense to insure your income? Take a moment and think about it now. Wouldn't it make sense to insure your income? Because you would insure that imaginary toaster, which we know doesn't exist. So if you are the income-driven person, the money machine, the one that's making the wheels turn, You are the one that's bringing home the bread, right? We have nowadays, there's 2 and 3 breadwinners in order to make things go forward. So if you're bringing the bread home, your income needs to be protected. And that's with life insurance. Now let's give you an example. I have an example for you on income protection. Now you have this couple, John and Mary, okay? John brings home $3,500 per month. Mary brings home $3,500 per month. Now you have $7,000 coming into that household. John and Mary have a little 2-year-old. So John and Mary are age 35. Usually when couples, they get married, they start planning their families, they become more vigilant about the future and the future of their children. So John and Mary decided that they will get life insurance. However, here's what happened. They have mortgage, they have car notes, they have insurance, they have credit cards, utilities, groceries, and they have child care services. So when I sit down with a John and Mary and I calculate their expenses, all of those add up to $7,000. So remember what I said. They're both bringing home $7,000. So it just covered the expenses. So here's what happened. John becomes an angel. Mary is only left with her 2-year-old and $3,500 to survive on. Let's say John didn't have any life insurance. Now she still has the mortgage, she has the car payment, she has the insurance, the credit card, the utilities, the groceries, and the child care services. So if John's income was helping to take care of those expenses, and now John is an angel, what happens? Mary and that 2-year-old is not going to be able to live the same lifestyle or survive in the same type of living, because if John had no insurance coverage, no life insurance coverage, now they shouldn't have to suffer. But let's go backwards a little bit. What happened when this family lose? Let's say John did have life insurance. And I sit down with John and Mary and they have life insurance. On the whole side life insurance component, I will tell you a little bit more. Its whole life is called cash value, universal life, variable life, $1 million baby life. Oh, the names go on and on and on. So let's say John and Mary had $100,000 worth of coverage now. John is gone. In a whole life policy, Mary would get the $100,000, but she would not get the cash. So my job here is to explain to you again the difference of how it can affect a couple's income, a family's income. So their monthly premium is about $225 for $100,000. So the underinsured, that's the underinsured part I talked about. But when I return from a commercial break, I'll be able to break it down more to you. So stay tuned. See you in a minute. Welcome back. Okay, let's go back and talk about this couple now. John and Mary with the 2-year-old. Now John is gone, right? So let's say John is gone. This couple had this whole life policy. Now Mary only have the 100,000, but let's say they lived until they were age 65, because at 35 years old, they have this coverage. I sat down with them, and then John and Mary decided, based on the information and education that I have provided to them, John and Mary realized that they're underinsured and they don't have the proper protection. There's so many John and Marys out there, I tell you, and I love helping families. I love showing them and educating them and showing them the difference. So the educational piece is what I'm here to provide you with. About term life insurance. Term life insurance is easy. It's simple. It's pure protection. It makes sense. For most families, term life is pure protection. So when I explained to John and Mary how term life is, how it works, how it can provide them with more protection, John and Mary automatically gets it, because a well-informed consumer makes the right decisions. So now John and Mary realize, okay, I can get a coverage for $250,000 as opposed to $100,000 on each of them. So the coverage is the face amount. It's called the death benefit. So you have the death benefit in the event someone passed away, John passed away, Mary would get on the cash value, the whole life side, $100,000. When they switch over to term insurance, now they have $250,000 worth of coverage. Now, more than double their coverage, guys, more than double. So now they have more protection because they have that house mortgage. They have educational needs for their children or child. You know, they have the income replacement, and they have all of that covered, the death benefits. So now instead of paying $225 per month, John and Mary would be paying roughly about $80, depending on the company that you're with, because all term are not equal and the cost may vary. So now John and Mary, they're only paying $80 per month. On the whole life side, they were paying $225 per month to be underinsured, so they could have insurance for the rest of their life until age 100, because in a whole life policy, you're covered up until age 100. So in that, you're bundling your savings in a whole life, whether it's a universal, variable life, index life, $1 million baby life, whichever one it is still, under the whole life policy. So if they were to put their savings in their life insurance, when you put all your eggs in one basket, it's bundled together, you only get one or the other. But when you buy term insurance, you take the difference of that $225 that John and Mary was paying. Now they're paying $80 per month. So now you take that difference. So you take that difference of $145, you put it in a separate savings vehicle. Let's say they put it in an investment vehicle that hypothetically brought them a 9% interest rate over those 30 years that they were saving. If they had it in the whole life insurance component part, they get anywhere from 2 to 4% on that money. But if they have it, let's say, separated, have term life and separated their savings, they have an average of about 9%. Which one would you want? Hypothetical rate of 9%, because rates are up and down. But you can take advantage of the highs and the lows of the market when you have it in a separate investment vehicle as opposed to having it bundled. So here's what happened. Over the 30 years, let's say John and Mary stayed alive, right? And they still have this coverage in the whole life component, the cash value part of the life insurance, right? When they bundled it together. Let's say they had that and I never sat down with them. Now, at age 65, they decide, okay, I have saved my money. We saved our money. Let's take our money out of our life insurance. That's what cash value is. They would have had a little bit over $76,000 over 30 years. If they take that money, they would no longer have life insurance. So why not get term life insurance for those 30 years and separate your eggs? Put your savings in a separate basket for it to grow. Because let's say, for instance, that hypothetical rate of 9% when they bought term life insurance, when they switched over and they separated their eggs. Let's say now at age 65, John and Mary decided they want to call it quits, right? Now, John and Mary would have in total over $265,000 because they separated their eggs. So see the importance of understanding the different types of life insurance, because term life insurance makes sense for the vast majority of families. Quoted by financial expert Susie Orman. I truly believe that. I've seen it. It works. Why not buy the right type of life insurance where you can have the most for your buck? You have the right proper insurance, which is life insurance. However, again, income protection. Because if John passed away now that they have term, Mary would receive $250,000 and vice versa. In addition to that, she will have the savings. It's not one or the other when it comes to term life. When it comes to term life insurance, you think about your auto insurance. You think about your home insurance. Do they pay it back after you paid over the years? No. In the event you have an accident or natural disaster such as the tornadoes that we've had, those types of issues come up. So many people, they had their basement flooded over the holiday weekends, accident happened. You will get what is promised to you because your eggs are separated. Because when you think about this, the theory of decreasing responsibility is a must that everyone understand how this works. The theory of decreasing responsibility says that in the early years, most people don't have a lot of money. So they need a lot of coverage. So this is why being underinsured is not acceptable. So now in the later years, when your children are grown, because in the early years, your children are, young children, they haven't gone to college yet, they haven't really lived yet. When they're later in the years, when they're grown, you're not responsible to take care of their everyday needs. Well, in most cases. Your mortgage hopefully is paid off, your debt is lowered. So in the later years, you need money. So it's important to have a lot of coverage in the earlier years, and in the later years where you need money, your money is separated, it's being compounded, compound interest again. So know the difference, understand the difference. It's important that your family is properly protected. Because it's either people die too soon or they live too long. So imagine if you live too long, you have enough coverage. So when I return, I'll break it down to you again to show you the different types of provisions in the policy and how to differentiate what the terms are in these policies. So I'll be taking a quick commercial break and I'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Claim have in common? Regis lawyers. Lawyers who care, convenient, affordable, respectful, and experienced. For over 20 years, we have helped thousands throughout the Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island. We work 100% for the 99%.
I can't hear
For
you.
free consultation with an
I can't hear
experienced
you.
attorney, call or text us at 212-766-1100. And yes, we speak Spanish.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for being so patient. I am so excited that, I can bring you this valuable information that may change your circumstances, because I love helping people to make money and save money. So what if you can free up some money to save for those years when you really need it? What if you can save on your life insurance? What if you can cut back and make sure that your family is properly protected? Wouldn't you give yourself that opportunity to know and to see the possibilities? Because it will put a smile on your face knowing that you can rest peacefully. You can rest peacefully at night knowing that your families are properly protected. It's so key. As I told you guys, I gave you a little story about my personal experience with having, I had a lot of relatives who passed who did not have life insurance, and I know what, the disaster, what it can bring. Personally, I've had life insurance, especially having children. I knew, God forbid, something happened to me. But until I was provided with the proper education, I was not properly protected. So I am glad that I received this information before it was too late and made those changes. And that's what I want for you. The same thing I want for me and my family is the same thing I want for you, because I care about you and your circumstances and your family's future. It means everything to me. So know that this information is to provide you with education so that you can make the right decision. You can decide whichever way you want. But once you receive this information, just take a look. Check it out. Look at the fine prints. Life insurance basics is important to understand what the basics are. The use of life insurance. It could be used for personal, such as survivor protection in the event you have a spouse, right? You have a partner, you have children. It can be used for estate creation. And let me tell you why I said estate creation, because life insurance is one of the biggest investment that one can make in their lifetime. I said investment, that's correct. It's one of the biggest investment due to the fact that you can create estate with the proceeds from the life insurance. And it's not taxable, by the way. When you get a lump sum payout, it's not taxable. So you can create estate with that. And there's the liquidity, right? You can, like I said, you get a full payout, estate conversion. You can use it for that. On the business side, if you own a business, it's important to know that you must insure your key person. The buy-sell funding, the owner of that business. Why not insure yourself? Now insure your business so that, God forbid, you become an angel too soon. Your loved one can continue the business as though you were still there, bringing in that income. Again, income protection. If your key person, the person you depend on to run your business, to make sure that that revenue is coming in and profit is being made, secure that loved one. Make sure that key person is protected with life insurance through your business, because your business does cover the expenses, so your business can cover the life insurance expense for that person. Now, the business is the beneficiary. So something happened to your key person of the business and they become an angel too soon. Then the business is the beneficiary. So the payout, the lump sum payout, is to the business. It's not to their family. Understand? So that's why it's important to have personal insurance as opposed to having business insurance. And then you can have business continuation. So that's the difference between life insurance on the personal side and life insurance on the business side. Life insurance, human life value approach. Let's take it to a human value approach. Okay, let's say you have wages. Again, your income is protected. Let's say inflation, because we know inflation, the cost of goods and services, guys, are rising. So if the money that you're bringing in is not enough to cover the cost that's rising, then you will be at a disadvantage. Years to retirement. Also, the time value of money. There's a time value of money. Because remember we talked about the rule of 72? How many years does it take for your monies to double? So you have a cash value insurance, life insurance, and let's say your interest rate on that is a 3%. You take that 3, divide that into 72. That'll give you 24 years for your monies to double. How many doubling years do you have in your lifetime? So it's important to know where your money is being saved. For instance, save it in a bank. The national average on a savings account is about 0.09, less than 1%. Let's say you had a CD, you may get 1 to 1.25%. If you're getting a 1%, now take that 1. You have the rule of 72 again. Divide 1 into 72. That will give you 72 years for your monies to double. How many doubling periods do you have in your lifetime? So let's take the needs approach. What are your needs? The predicted needs of a family. Using debt, income, mortgage, and expenses. I call it the DIME approach, just like dime, D-I-M-E. Debt, income, mortgage, expenses. That's your need approach. What do you need it for? Do you need it to cover your debts? Do you need it to cover your income? Do you need it to cover the mortgage expenses and other expenses? That is the reason, again, you must think of it differently. Think of it this way. It's income protection. That's what it is. You need to protect your income because life happens. Disasters happen. We're here today, gone tomorrow. Life is a flicker. So protect your loved ones with life insurance. How about the group insurance? There are many times I sit down with individuals and they tell me, oh, I have life insurance with my job. Let me tell you what happened with the life insurance, group life insurance. There's more than one person that's insured. There's a master policy that goes to the policy owner. The policy owner is the employer. Okay, it doesn't come to you. Do you know what the fine print says? No, because they will give you a certificate of coverage of insurance. Proof of insurability, because you have to be able to be approved for life insurance, but in a group plan, proof of insurability is not required, because what they do is they take the group of employees and they average out the age, and that's how they're able to get that group plan for less. So when you leave your employer, they will give you 31 days to convert it over. You have to convert it to a whole life policy, and at the age where you are. So if you work your job 10 years and 10 years later you want to take that with you, if you have that option, because some places don't give you the option, then you have to convert it at the age where you are. And in order to be eligible for life insurance and insurable, you have to, they look at the age. You have to have, your medical. Yeah, they look at your medical. They look at your height, your weight. So 10 years ago and 10 years later is two different costs for you. So it's based on your age. And are you still insurable? Because we can agree. I believe we all can agree to this. As you get older, the chances of you developing some major medical issues increases, correct? It doesn't decrease when you're younger, Yes, people may get medical issues when they're younger, but the chances increases as you get older. So your ability to be insurable decreases. So don't wait. It's sad to see when someone is not insurable, especially if at a young age. So the younger you are, the cheaper it is. Get it now. Individual. Your individual personal policy is important. You're single. It's important to get insured. You're a couple. It's important to get insured. Each policy owner gets a policy. So the policy comes to you, as opposed to in the group, the policy goes to the employer. You require proof of insurability, again, height, weight, medical, age. So remember I talked about the whole life insurance, universal life, variable life, cash value, same thing. That's the permanent insurance that covers you up to age 100. That has the cash value, because you put in everything in one, but you put in your eggs in one basket. So you put in your savings and your life insurance all in one basket, and you only get one. In term, it's for a specific period of time. So what I tend to do is look at how long will it take for you to become self-insured? Because when you can become self-insured, trust me on this, you don't need life insurance. So the goal is to get you insured for a period of time. It could be 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, and with some companies, 35 years. So you get pure protection. There is no cash value. That's why it's so much cheaper. That's why it's pure protection. That's why you will be insured for the amount of money that will cover all those expenses, as opposed to being underinsured. Remember, we talked about being underinsured. I don't want you to be underinsured. I want you to have the right protection. Some companies may provide you with a policy that says you receive dividends. In a mutual company, you get dividends. Dividends is not like dividends you receive when you have an investment in the stock market. That's a whole different dividends. Dividends in a whole life policy is they're paying you, they're returning a part of your premium because you paid a little bit too much. So they return that to you, and it's not guaranteed. So if you're receiving dividends, that's part of the money you're already paying to your premium. It's not monies that's coming from a stock, because in a whole life policy, there is no investment. You only need a life insurance license to be able to sell whole life insurance, Even though you're told that your savings is being bundled there, you only need a life insurance license. If you have a variable life, now you need to have an investment license. So even with term life insurance, you don't need an investment license. But if you're going to help your clients to be able to save the difference, you must have an investment license. And if you don't, the person, your trainer, your mentor, someone in your company have an investment license, it's important to make sure that they're putting that extra money away, because they would have been paying so much more for a whole life policy, right? So make sure that they're separating their eggs and putting their money in an investment vehicle so your money can grow for you, because in the later years, you need money. You need more money. You can never take that life insurance policy to the supermarket and purchase food. You need money. So you must know what the difference is. And with your monthly premium, you have premium where you can, the mode is you can pay monthly, you can pay quarterly, you can pay semi-annually, or you can pay annually. Now, if you're paying your life insurance on a monthly basis, you pay a little bit more, just like your auto insurance. If you pay monthly, you pay a little bit more. If you pay it off annually, it's a lot less. It's the same in the life insurance. So keep that in mind. If you're looking to save money, there's so many different ways to save money, free up money so you can save for the future. And I continue to talk with you about how to save for the future in different vehicles. So as I stated before, life insurance is one of the most important investment that you can make in your lifetime. It's the biggest investment you can make in your lifetime. So secure your family's future. Make sure they're protected. Make sure throughout these times, these difficult times during this climate, that you are not putting your family at risk. How are you protecting your loved ones? Think about it. Make the decision now that you have the facts, because I will only provide you with the facts. Because you need to know that if you do the right thing, you will sleep better at night, peacefully. And I love to hear when family says, I can sleep better knowing that my families are properly protected. We will continue this series because September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. So be aware, continue watching. You will receive information and provide you with more valuable information about life insurance. It's Life Insurance Awareness Month. Be aware that you must get the right information and use it properly. This is Millennium TV 24 in sponsorship with Roku TV, Amazon TV, Apple TV, and all your smart TVs. Download the app on your Android or your iPhone. And don't forget that we do stream on YouTube. So you can catch me on YouTube if you didn't catch me live. This is Money Talks. I'm your host, Cynthia Abbott. Have a safe and wonderful Labor Day. I'll catch you next time. Same place, same time. Thank you for watching.